Hello everyone, Monday.com has IPO'd last week, and today in this episode of Researching Stocks, we're going to look at the ticker symbol MNDY and see if it's a good investment. Are you ready? Let's begin. Hello everyone, Avishai here, and today we're going to be looking at Monday.com, ticker symbol MNDY, and for those of you who don't know, Monday.com is a work operating system. That's how they like to call themselves. And they have competitors such as Asana, Trello, and ClickUp. And one of the things that is very important for me to put out right now, before we dive into the numbers, is that I am long Monday.com and I do have shares of Monday.com. So that is something important for me to note. And now we can start diving into the numbers and talk if it's a good investment or not. To answer really that question, it really depends what kind of investors are you. Because for some people, it might be a great investment. And for some people, it might not be the best kind. And it really depends on so many factors: your age, your investment style, how much risk tolerance do you have, and etc. I'm going to be diving into the numbers through Yahoo Finance, and as you can see, the stock is trading up to the day, and it is mid-trading day, and its price action is looking pretty good, even though there's not much volume on the stock. I believe there's going to be a lot more volume in the future. I think it's going to be just a matter of time before people will be putting more focus on this company. So right away, I want to jump into the price point they opened on. And as you can see, the stock has been on an uptrend ever since the IPO day. And it's looking pretty decent. I bought under the $200 mark just to kind of give you guys an example of from where I believed in. And I can say that there were efforts made to actually reach stock through secondary markets, as I knew kind of what was going to be happening here. So in addition to talking about the company's financials and all kinds of things that you can actually find public, I'm going to add one small Easter egg in the end of the video to explain why Monday is poised to succeed. Because they have a special playbook. I don't want to get into it now. You're going to have to wait for the end of the video once I finish covering all the public information. Bunch of news just regarding the IPO. Just before the IPO, Zoom and Salesforce backed the company. And let's just jump into their site, because it's important for me to kind of convey to you what Monday.com is if you've never been on their site. So really quickly here, just gonna jump into the site. And if you actually go onto my YouTube channel, there is a tutorial how to sign up to Monday.com. And that tutorial is a very short one because it's really easy to get signed up. So let's look kind of at their product suite, at their solutions. And you can see basically it's a way to kind of organize everything work-related. It's kind of a Gantt chart, a task list, and a kind of intersection to integrate between everything work-related. Your Word docs, your PowerPoints, your Google Sheets, your Drive files. And one of the interesting things I like to check when I'm looking at companies like these, and this is a company that's been around for a while, is I like to see how much traffic they had. So I'm going to take Monday.com, and just to run up to the IPO, I'm just going to check their similar web metrics. Let's website traffic analyze their site, and I'm not sure we're going to get a lot of information out of this, but let's just see. Yeah, so you can see pretty much on an uptrend lately. So the company has a lot of traffic from the United States, UK, Brazil, Australia, Canada. So that's a good group of countries. Now, another disclaimer, I do have friends who work at the company, but I never obviously talk to them about work. And to be honest, it's not that interesting just because they're fun party friends. So much rather do other things with them. So let's see what else we have here. Okay. A lot of things related to marketing and creative planning. The list goes on and on. So their product suite is pretty easy to understand. And now just kind of looking at the pricing, this is interesting. So I remember in the early days when the company had a lower pricing, and it just shows that when you do have a good product, you can up the price and clients will continue with you. So let's say I have a 25 seat company or a 20 seat company with 20 employees. So $10 a month, I'd get timeline and Gantt views, calendar view, guest access, automations, 250 actions per month, integrations, 250 actions per month, and create a dashboard that combines up to 5 boards. Cool. If we were an enterprise, we'd have multi-level permissions, tailored onboarding. So let's say you're not working in the startup world and you don't know anything about kind of how companies kind of communicate and manage things together. These are all important things. I don't know a company that takes itself seriously. I don't know of a company that just keeps to like Google Sheets when they're running things. So that's related to that. To be honest, I don't have really an opinion of how good the product it is compared to the competitors, just because most of the work in my company is not R&D based, and when I do have projects that I'm doing in companies that have R&D or have marketing plans and stuff like that, usually I have to plug into whatever a team chose. So here you have a lot of things that people I work with like, but I have encountered some partners that would actually have me work on Trello. And there's a company I'm invested in that wants me to work on ClickUp. So I had to get accustomed to everyone, but I don't really have a favorite one. So regarding the quality of the product, I know it's good. I know it does what it promises to do. I don't have an opinion if it's better or not. Now, please note I am also long Asana, and I've been at long Asana since the IPO date. So take that into account as well. I like to just put all the information out there so you know that I'm not biased towards any direction. And if I am biased towards any direction, you should understand the bias. Going to the financials. So we got to know the company, the product, and I'm jumping here to the financials. And while I'm jumping to the financials, what I like to do is I like to check if the site has an investors area here, investors relations. So we can kind of make sure as a sanity check that everything kind of is a match. So the quarterly results for the last years. So this isn't working. So QA for people at Mondaycom. This area isn't currently working. And here we go. Here are the SEC filings. And what do these buttons do? So this is just the price of the stock and governance. Okay. So we're going to just keep this open and run to the financials right now. We'll see if we'll need that. Total revenue. So for the year of 2019, let's look at this annually. $78 million in total revenue. For the year of 2020, $160 million in revenue. Cost of revenue has doubled as well. So revenue has doubled, cost of revenue has doubled. Gross profit has doubled here, and the operating expense skyrocketed. And I think this is going to be the name of the game here for this stock. How much can they keep this operating expense at bay after this huge jump? You know, towards an IPO, company has a lot of expenses, and it is pretty, I would say, understandable before a company goes public to really ramp up a lot of the expenses. You have hires and governance and just a lot of administration costs that go up, and legal fees go skyrocket. There's a lot of things that you have to take into account. And I think that one of the more interesting things to note here is that the revenue and the cost of revenue may have grew by 100%, but money-wise, I think that's the beauty. You have a huge gap, and the gross profit created here is amazing. So if this gross profit can continue, I'm pretty sure the administration and operating costs cannot sustain this level of growth, and you're going to see a shift in operating income. So the operating income might have went down from a loss between 2019 and 2020, but I think you're going to see a shift, and when that shift happens, it's going to be a big one. And I'm going to open another ticker symbol to kind of give you guys a example of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do here Wix stock Yahoo. And I'm jumping to Wix because a fun fact, Mondaycom used to be called The Pulse, and The Pulse, according to what I know, used to be a product inside Wix. It was spun off. So looking at the financials, yeah. So you can see Wix's operating income is also not in a shape of a company you'd expect it to be. And still, the companies keeps going higher, and I think that's because you can see the total revenue keeps skyrocketing. The revenue is easy to kind of, I would say, lock in, and the operating expense is something that you can always reduce. You can work on reducing that. It's not like the cost of revenue. So as long you see the ratios here between the growth of total revenue and the cost of revenue, the percentages might fluctuate between them, but at the end of the day, you're making more dollars from spending more dollars, and in a good ratio where you're left with more on the gross profit, which I think is the most important area. So moving on back to Monday. So you're going to see a very similar chart between, you're going to see similar financials between these two companies. Research and development, a lot of growth and expenses here. And I guess if you want to win this game, then you have to invest in R&D. Let's see, what else do we have here interesting? Okay, so I think there's enough financials to understand that this company is for real. It's making revenue. I think it has a healthy balance sheet for a growth company. I know that might not look like that, but just because there has been already a kind of pilot of such a company in the past, I think there's a lot of companies that I can now from this point imagine that will want to buy Monday.com. And you're probably asking yourself, wait, the company just IPO'd. Why would they want to buy them? So there's a lot of companies who kind of work in a time to ROI strategy, and they're basically looking to onboard as much clients as possible and to grab as much of the market as possible and to try to reach a good ROI on that user as fast as possible at a certain point, but not actually look at the lifetime value, because the lifetime value will be more interesting to the purchaser, the acquirer down the line. And let me explain. So when I think about why Monday.com is a good investment, I'm looking at their market cap. I'm looking at that $10 billion market cap. And I'm saying to myself, okay, who's going to want to buy this company and for what price? And my answer is going to be a company who has already tried to buy a company like this in the past. So we know that for Slack, there were many competitors trying to buy Slack. And I'm going to jump into the Slack stock, ticker symbol, WORK. And we're going to look at Slack's financials. Okay, so Slack's financials in the end of 2018 were not far from where Monday is right now. And why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because if Monday can reach the levels of revenue Slack had the time Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM, purchased them, then they might get the same price. Now, gross profit-wise, I think the companies can reach the same areas, and they both have something going for them, Slack and Monday, that a company like Salesforce will always like, and that's a lot of users that have a small price per seat. That $5 to $20 to $30 range, a license per seat is beautiful for a company like Salesforce. But I don't think Salesforce is going to be the kind of company that buys Monday.com. I think the kind of company that buys Monday.com is Microsoft. So I might be wrong, and we might go back to this video and laugh at me, but I'm betting that Microsoft buys Monday.com anywhere in the next 3 to 7 years, 3 at earliest, 7 at most, in a range that is anywhere between $20 billion and $35 billion. That's the range. This company fits Microsoft perfectly. If Microsoft wants to compete in this space against the Salesforces, Adobe's, Oracles of the world, the IBMs of the world, really to get into the enterprise game beyond their Office suite in the cloud, Microsoft Teams is just not enough. They need something like this. And if they can connect Microsoft Teams to something like this, then they have something on their hand. So that's kind of my opinion on the subject. And I promised you guys an Easter egg while researching the stock. And I think that the Easter egg is just related to kind of a bunch of stocks I talked already on this channel and stocks I praised on this channel. And the Easter egg is this company has amazing user acquisition when it comes to the online. Now, what do I mean? Imagine you have a software as a service company and you have to always show hyper growth. Now, there's two ways to do that. One, you can have probably a crazy sales team. And another way is you can actually have a really state-of-the-art customer acquisition strategy that is inbound marketing, that you don't have to have a overstaffed sales team. You can actually have a very precise one, and you just have a bunch of customer success representatives just waiting to gather all that inbound marketing and to just scale the clients to bigger and a more expensive packages after signing them up and getting them to feel kind of, that this is the product for them. And I think that it's really hard for me to say the following sentence, but it will be a sentence that will make sense over the longer period of time. The more their costs of marketing explode to the upside, the more I would be bullish on this company, because they know to put the dollars in the right place, and they know how to make every dollar count. There are a lot of companies that will go all in on marketing expenses, and I would not trust where they put their money just because it would be old school type of spending. Monday.com does something that only companies like Wix or Rocket Companies or Purple from the mattresses or Lemonade from insurance knows how to do. Growth hacking on a very high level. And not every company knows how to do this. There's a lot of companies who I think don't have a clue on how to connect every dollar they spent and how much it brought back in. There are a lot of legacy companies out there. So I hope I managed to give you a nice look into Monday.com, which is once again a new company on the stock market, but it's been around for some time. It's a great company with some great people, in my opinion. I do not have a specific opinion about how good the product is against its competitors. I do own the competitor Asana and their stock, and I do own Monday. So I'm long both because I'm long the space. I do think that both companies are going to get acquired. And I think Monday is going to be acquired by Microsoft anywhere around the $30 billion market cap area. So if you found this video useful, hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this of me researching stocks, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the bell to get notifications, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.